Welcome to tonight's reading. It's been a minute, hoping that we can keep up this momentum as time goes on. We have 3 piles for you to choose from tonight's mystery reading. So pile 1, we have the card of the Restorers, with the, see if we can see it here, the Calm blend. Actually, I'll see if a torch actually is more helpful in this case. Okay, yeah. So the Calm blend. And just a couple of the key oils in this one is lavender, mandarin, bergamot, geranium, ylang ylang, atlas cedarwood, Roman chamomile. Yeah, cool. So that was our first one. So that was Goodnight Calm blend. So it's actually like, would be helpful with sleep as well. Okay, group 2, we've got the burdock with the frankincense. And then group 3, we have primrose and peppermint. Okay, so you can take a moment just to see which pile you feel the most drawn to. And when you're ready, you can jump into the timestamps to jump ahead to whichever pile you select. And we'll get started with group 1. Welcome group 1 to tonight's reading. If you chose the Restorers card and the Calm blend, then this is going to be your mystery reading for tonight. So I'm actually going to read out of the book for the Restorers card and see what we get here. But you can see there is a woman looking out the window over the countryside, or maybe some sort of like hinterland or something like that. Maybe like crushing or mixing up some herbs or making some sort of apothecary tincture, yeah, blend something. Anyway, okay, so we also have 3 cards here. This card in the middle is actually going to remain upside down just because the content of the image itself is not appropriate, but I'll grab the book and we'll read from the Restorers card to get started. Of course, straight on. Okay, so we have retreat, balance, and calm. Yeah, this is definitely in the upright. Okay, cool. So the Restorers are a trio of ancient and indigenous plants of the Druid source lands, which act to restore the balance between body and soul, healing the heart and mind with their calming and strengthening powers. Rose root is found in the mountainous regions of Wales and Scotland, and on the coastal cliffs of the northwest of Britain. Valerian can be seen throughout the countryside in moist ground and ditches, and on riverbanks and wet meadowland, while St. John's wort prefers dry woodland and meadows. The card shows a druid healer in her, is it bothy? Bothy? Oh, I have no idea, guys. You'll just have to bear with me with that one. It's B-O-T-H-Y anyway. Sitting beside the fire. Through the open door, we see the Scottish Highlands. Roseroot and valerian hang drying in bunches from the rafters, and freshly gathered St. John's wort lies on the table. Although, can I just say before we get too deep into it, that St. John's wort's meant to be like really good for depression and anxiety and whatnot. I'm trying not to light the book on fire with a candle. Anyway, although adventure and excitement are necessary ingredients in life, we also need periods of peace and calm. Oasis in our busy lives. Drawing this card in a reading may mean that you should create such a time for yourself. Retreats are an important part of spiritual practice and in Druidry. These can include visiting the old sacred sites and waking the old tracks, but wherever you are, you can take a retreat. Even if you are busy, see if you can withdraw from your schedule for 3 hours, during which time no one disturbs you and you treat yourself to whatever will help you find calm. Better still is a longer retreat, 3 days or more, in a setting close to nature. By taking such a break, you give your body and soul a chance to catch up with each other and to find balance once more. Yeah, that's perfect. How funny is that the oil that we picked, like the calm blend, and they're actually talking about like rest and yeah, peace. That's lovely. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, we can actually have a look at what the other cards that we've got. So, all right, so it's actually bizarrely fitting with this time of year. I'm in the Southern Hemisphere in Australia, and it's actually the end of August. We're about to step into September, which is like the first month of spring here. So in like, I think 2 or 3 days. Anyway, so, you know, maybe only 1 or 2 days by the time that I get this video uploaded to YouTube, but that's all right. So not only is it like a time for retreat, rest, quiet time, still, calm, peace, it's like it's just being peace and just allowing yourself to catch up with yourself. That was like my favorite thing that I took from what they read. And maybe taking time, like I know it sounds so bizarre, but I'm quite literally hearing like taking time to smell the roses. And it might not be, even if whether it's like oils or herbs or flowers or whatever it is, maybe like take the time to like quite literally like go through and find out scents that you like, or if you actually walk past flowers, take the time to like stop and smell them and like just be present there in the moment, like slow enough to be able to do that, if you're able to like allow yourself half the chance. Okay, so the next thing, which is also weirdly fitting with the theme of coming into spring, is actually like, and I just want you to know that like no matter where you are in the world when this reading comes out, it doesn't have to mean that it's spring where you are. It's just like the energy of the time of where we're at here. But if you're getting this reading and you're on the other side of the world and it's like, you know, the opposite time of year, maybe coming into autumn, I just feel like this energy is still really like significant, important, or it's like a vibe for you at this point in time. Like maybe other people are like slowing down and you're just starting to wake up. Keep in note, I think that like the Mercury retrograde is just coming to like a halt. Like I don't really follow it, but I did get like a notification about it today, so maybe just the fact of the Mercury retrograde slowing up could be enough for some people to like get some calm. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is it's like strong like sacral, solar plexus and heart energy, and it's like the blend between that emotional expression and creative expression and being confident and happy within yourself, like just comfortable within yourself, and then just loving yourself as well and having that to be able to pass on to others when you're full within yourself. And it's a kind of polarizing energy for me right now to be in this reading because, you know, not always, but there are certain times in life where we can really want to like close off and withdraw and go inside or hide away from people or go hermit for a while. And there seems to be like a coming out of some sort of, it's like retreating from anything and everything going on, whilst at the same time allowing yourself to like come out and rest or something like that. Hopefully that's making sense and resonating for you. If it's not, like, don't try to make anything fit that you know, doesn't actually resonate for you. So yeah, I definitely get a strong feeling of peace and calm and just enjoying the moment. And even if all it is like looking out the window or something and just taking that moment to like watch the leaves of the trees in the breeze or something, whatever it is for you, clouds passing by. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So we have, it looks like really fertile times, really like great, like strong, rich opportunities for growth. And I just get the sense that there's like no better time for any sort of growth as the present. Like, if you were ever gonna do it, now would be the easiest time to do it. It would be the best I don't know how to explain it. It's like, if you didn't do it now, you would just be making it hard for yourself. Like it's not even that like your road will get hard if you like don't jump on some sort of opportunity at this point, or foster it. It's more the fact that like, if you were to put the work in for something now, this is just an example, it's not actually what's coming through, what it is that you need to work on, but it might take like 3 years instead of 5 because the conditions are just perfect for it. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So and definitely a time to be like, I don't know, just focusing on growth. But it definitely seems like I do get like a sense of like healthy living for this group as well. And it's really funny because this oil is actually, all the ingredients in it are organic, and then we're like working with, you know, like natural remedy, I don't know, like plants with natural remedy, or was it remedial, remedic type properties in them. Sorry, do you know what's really funny too is that sometimes if you actually like relax and slow down or wind down or whatnot, your brain can just sort of have a way of like just turning off, and like that's how you know that you're in the calm if you're not used to that. And it can be like really pleasant but almost like a little bit disorientating because you're not used to it. So that might be for a few specific people in this group anyway. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe when that happens you'll think something's wrong, but it's actually something right or something good. Maybe not wrong and right, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, really good times at the moment to be working on things. I definitely feel like health specifically, healthy, like green eating, what am I trying to say? Clean eating? Yeah, clean eating. But also on that note, I do feel like a lot of like plant-based, like you can still, whatever your diet is, you still do your diet, but I like clean eating. So like a lack of processed foods, and get as much like, you know, fruit and veg and salad or whatever in your diet as you can. Like, they don't want it to be like half-half, they want it to be like 70-30. So if you're up for the challenge, that's it for you. Okay, so the next card, okay, the next card's actually the Three of Swords, and the card's titled Grief. And I do feel that it's like you're having to really go slow and really nurture yourself, and it's almost like a sense of like protecting yourself and pulling yourself away from the outer world while you go through a stage of healing and like grieving and whatnot, because it would actually be too rough to sort of A, do it alone, B, do it out in the big wide world, and then you know, C, doing it like if you left it later, it wouldn't be the same. So you know, depending on what your situation is, and you know, we all handle grief differently, and then we all are on the receiving end of grief from different situations. It's just, you know, there's so many situations that can come up in which that arises, And grief can just be a funny one where sometimes it will delay itself by 6 months, but then sometimes we'll do everything we can in, you know, like we'll use every bone in our body to get out of having to experience the feelings. And, you know, we're human and we get scared of it. We get scared of being stuck with the feelings, and sometimes we do get stuck with the feelings and sometimes we don't. And the more that we process them, the more we let ourselves feel it. There is a fly flying around just driving me absolutely insane. Hoping that I can get it to like fly out of the room or something, or yeah, anyway. Maybe that's how you feel. You just, yeah, anyway. Like, oh, it's just weird because it's not even like anything massive is happening. It was just like relaxing was enough to like shut my mind off, and then like a fly comes in and I'm like totally distracted and torn away from what I'm doing. It's like one thing at a time, and taking our time and being kind to ourselves. You know, that maybe sometimes it does take a little bit to like get back on track and pick up where we left off, and sometimes it takes time. Like it's okay to stop, it's okay to drop the ball, it's okay to take a moment for yourself and then recoup and regather. Let's push that candle back in and close that. Yeah. And it's okay to, you know, do the things you need to do to get through it. So yeah. Okay, so the very last card that we have is defeat, and I do feel like you could be feeling like a strong sensation of defeat, like with experiencing whatever that type of grief or loss or hurt is. One thing I want to say is that the spider is like on point with the theme of spring as well, but I just sort of get the sense that whoever this is, or whatever this scenario is not taking any prisoners. So just know, maybe it could be like the grief itself or something about the situation that we are having that expression come through for. So maybe just don't be too hard on yourself, but be equally aware of your surroundings. And look, I do feel like this lady is kind of hidden up in the mountains somewhere away from people. People probably don't even know she's there, or that she's left wherever she was. Yeah, and the book did definitely talk about a retreat for quite a while. So for some of you, it might be like a good message to take a couple days retreat from any situations that could be going on for you during this time, because I feel like there's all sorts of scenarios that the people in this group are actually experiencing. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, I'm just going to grab another card. Cool. Maybe 3. Okay, cool. So the first card that we have is Healing Energy, followed by Retreat, and then Duality. So I love it when you get confirmation like that, just time after time. Like, yeah. Okay. So this is just like what I'm sort of getting here, and from all of it is like just a time for incubation, a time to allow like growth and development, a time to allow the new to be, you know, come out. There's definitely like a feeling or a sensation of like coming out of a shell or coming out of a period of something, stepping into something new, and spring is like new life. For some of you, it may literally be I don't know, like some sort of like new life or new project, or it's just like a new chapter, new something. Like for some of you, I feel like there's definitely a few in the group here that may be on the verge of pregnancy or something, if that's something for you, but that's only a very specific very specific message for a small group and number in the group. Anyway, definitely at least a new chapter here, new energy, which like, let's just all be grateful for. I feel like if you come to my readings, you're probably like experiencing some similar themes at different points. And yeah, granted that this reading finds you at like the time that's, you know, for your highest good, and at a time where it's helpful to. All of my readings are timeless. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So now that we're here, we've already talked about the retreat, we've talked about calm, we've talked about hiding away, and then the last card we have is duality here. I do get a sense of a duality here, as in maybe on one side having like a lot of fear, and then on the other side being quite open and like vulnerable and flexible and like adventurous and looking forward to what's going on. But the side that we have the fear on, it's kind of like born out of like previous like negative experiences or grief or hurt or defeat or something, whatever it is. I feel like there's definitely been something that's happened that has almost put us in like a split energy to a degree, where on one hand it's like we're hiding out of like fear, and then on the other hand it's like doing the things you know you need to do to help yourself get better, and then like seeing the positive in the situation, coming out feeling renewed, like restored, refreshed, recuperated, all those lovely words beginning with the letter R. Yeah, is there anything else here? For some of you, it may be like a really good time to make a wreath out of like natural materials from a garden or something. Whatever it is that suits you. For some of you, it may be a pentagram. For some of you, it may be a plain wreath. For some of you, it may be just whatever your hands create while you're just like sitting in a garden. Okay, so the two cards that we have come out, we have hustling, making it rain, focused on money, getting it. And the second card is same shit, different day. I know that these cards are not very enthusiastic. Maybe that's the way that you had been feeling, was like having to hustle and just like having a sense of like Groundhog Day and like total monotony, just to get through the day. But although that's what the word's saying, I feel like that was like a past energy, or where you have been, or maybe where you are at the moment. This new energy that's coming in, it is like spring and flowers and markets and fresh, like organic, like really good quality foods, and like freshly baked loaves of bread. And it's just like, it's kind of crazy to me, like how excited I feel for it. Like at the start of this reading, I almost thought that when I looked at this woman in the Restorer's card, I thought she almost looked cautious. Like she looked like she was checking out the window to see if anyone was coming or if anyone was passing by, and, you know, check if the coast was clear or that she was safe, or, you know, something like that. Maybe she's checking the weather, just anything, just checking something. And then now that I look at it, I'm like, no, it's like she's looking out to like look at the, like maybe look at the weather, but in like a total different dualistic sense of like, oh, it's such a beautiful day, and like look how green it is, and like, you know, maybe the temperature is beautiful, and, you know, everything is in flower, and she does have this harvest of like beautiful fresh cut plants as well around her. So there's definitely, and you know, it's really funny too, that grief card that the Three of Swords that I had turned upside down, like I said, it just wasn't appropriate to have displayed with YouTube and everything. But the fact that it's being turned over, I don't want to say that I feel like you're skipping over. I feel like there's an element here of maybe like slow days, doing the things in the present moment, like taking time to go cut fresh herbs out of the garden or something, or the flowers, but then like you know, and being like gentle with yourself and calm and grounded, but then maybe like in those quieter moments you're really processing quite a lot as well, and you kind of are leaving it in the past, which is actually wonderful, and it sort of brings in room for all these new things to come in, all these new energies and these new like things to be excited for and look forward to. And I actually wonder if some of you have started to already see some of this come through. It's hard to say, like everyone's on a different timeline, right? Like some of us have maybe just already started experiencing this in the last couple of days, and maybe even potentially a couple of weeks for a couple of us. Most of us are probably just on the turning point, and then maybe some of us will like follow in the next, you know, small period of time, like a couple of days or week or so. I'm still hearing like a couple weeks for some of you. So yeah, we're all kind of over a span of a month worth of time here that this is happening. But also like noticing that there like are birds around, and like taking the time to hear like the sounds and noises of nature. Sometimes you can hear crickets in my videos, sometimes you can't. You know, even to the point of like if you are sitting down outside, if you're able to, somewhere, and you're just sitting under a tree or something, and you just happen to be there long enough to notice that there's like spiders climbing on, you know, different plants and things like that. Yeah. And then I feel like this period of time will make you really strong. It will make you strong, it will make you healthy, it will reconnect you with yourself and reconnect your mind, body and soul all together, because so many of us operate, especially like in the culture that we live in here. Everyone's like so busy and worried about being productive, and they're not in the present moment, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not slowing down. I feel like doing this, it's like an energy reset, quite literally, like with the healing energy coming in, and it's like a really transformative period. Like if only we had a butterfly show up, right, so we could do that typical reading. But it's like you're going to come out so healthy from this season or this period or whatever this change is bringing in, that you're actually going to have so much robust energy that it will be like normal for you to hustle, and it will be same shit different day, and you'll bring it to the table. And you know, just like lots of energy, lots of vitality, health, wellness, well-being. Like I feel like whatever this was that had hurt you or had you in like a state of feeling defeat or depressed or whatever any of all the feelings were, grief, hurt, loss, anything, it's like you're going to be leaving it in the dust and moving on, and you're going to be so stoked for it. And I really wish you all the best. I think that's going to be really nice, like finally a nice time for people to like enjoy a moment in time. Yeah. Okay, let's just take a moment to see if there's anything else that we need for group one. Saying no, we are done. So this was tonight's mystery message for you all. I hope that it was you know, helpful in some way, and if not, maybe like nice just to hear a change of tune in some of the things that are meant to be coming in. So thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been real. Just don't forget to like, comment or subscribe to help out the channel, and I'll see you all in another video. Thanks. Okay, welcome group 2. If you chose the frankincense and the burdock, then this is your mystery message for tonight. I think tonight we're going to be using the Lightseers Tarot. Maybe, oh no, we'll go right away. Okay, cool. I hope everybody's doing well. Loving that Spirit picked out the cards with plants on them for the end of August coming into the start of September, just like that first couple days or that first month of spring. It's like greeting the new season. For the burdock card, I'm actually going to be reading from the book. Okay, and they're just telling me, just so I don't forget to pass it on, that this Four of Wands card here is actually going to underpin the reading. Okay, so we want burdock. Oh my god, that's the second time in a row. We just went straight to the page we needed. Okay, so harvest, purification, attachment. If you have chosen this card, it may mean that enough is enough and that you need to consider freeing yourself of an influence or a habit that is no longer serving you and which has now become toxic. Treat this as a process of harvesting and separate the wheat from the chaff. Recognize that even the most negative experiences offer valuable learning and see if you can extract this learning so that you can move on to a new phase of life. The burdock propagates widely because its burrs easily attach themselves to the fur of passing animals and hitch a ride far from home. The ease and simplicity of their attachment offers the perfect image of the way in which we can sometimes, with minimum effort, be carried into new territory in our lives. If this occurs unconsciously, we can find ourselves in difficulty. But if we attach ourselves with awareness and with a light touch to ideas, projects, and people whom we trust, we can achieve far more than if we remained isolated. It's kind of just like going with the flow, I guess, is the feeling that I get from it. It's just like trying to not fight where we're going and make the most of it, and maybe even be like a little bit opportunistic about it if you can, or just know that maybe it's bringing you closer to where you're meant to be, even if it doesn't look like what we thought we wanted or how it was supposed to happen. So alright, so first of all, I feel like maybe some of you have either come out of some sort of separation, there's been some sort of argument, some sort of like conflict or fighting, or protectiveness, defensiveness, maybe a bit of distrust or something. There's like, you know, but also they're talking about the burdock actually having burrs on it, so I'm not sure, but any burrs that I've come across in the area I live in Australia are usually kind of spiky. So like if you stepped on them, they would hurt. And so it just makes me feel like, I don't know, whether something's hurt you or it's just been like, I don't know, just uncomfortable, or just like I don't know how to say it, like for the lack of a better word, like a spiky time. Yeah, some of you, I feel like, have just found your feet upon like an unsolid ground, like a uneven ground or a rocky ground or something like that. And maybe I feel like there's like a level of like anger or I keep getting distrust, like maybe even righteousness or something about things being fair and unfair, and trying to step up for yourself or stand up for yourself or others or hold boundaries, or yeah, I don't know, like you're trying to hold the line. And I feel like whatever's gotten you to this point has almost left like a fog or a facade over whatever the situation is, to the degree now that like maybe you are just still angry and you can't even really remember why or how it all started. Like maybe you're upset about something and you can't even remember how you got here. All you know is that it was not great, it was uncomfortable, maybe not great things did happen as well. And it's just, I get the sense of like someone's like annoyed you or provoked you or antagonized you or something like that. Or something's happened that's like just annoyed you, or yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, so being angry, trying to stay grounded, trying to keep a clear mind, maybe trying to calm down, or just trying to connect to the land, or just trying to like roll with the punches. And it's like, it's that thing, it's that message that like I don't like to give and no one ever likes to receive, especially when we're in it. And you know, given the wrong day of the week, it's so easy to get triggered by some sort of statement like that when Spirit passes those messages through to us. But whether you do, whether you don't, it's just all part of the message anyway. So yeah, we just take it as we do. Take it with a grain of salt if it doesn't seem like it's for you. Don't try to make anything fit here that doesn't seem like it is actually for you. If anything, it should be more of like a confirmation. And you know what's really funny? It's like a strong contrast here between like an almost like hot-headed, annoyed, I don't know, whatever that is, almost like oppositional energy, I'm not sure, versus like the calm of the burdock. It's almost like a serenity to the area that they're in, whereas the Page of Swords environment is like just rough. It's almost as if a storm has come in and even the ground is moving. Like maybe everything going on around you has been rough. Maybe that's just the best way to explain it. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So now that we've got like a few of those different scenarios out of the way, the next thing that we're moving on to, it's just kind of like, I think that this time will be like really strong character development for you. You'll probably learn a lot. You'll probably process a lot. You'll, this point in time might help you become like a better communicator. Might help you really cut through any like just fog or like, you know, like in like nuanced situations. So like it's really good to be able to understand and use nuance, like, you know, like it's good to be able to understand and see nuance in things, because things are rarely ever so just like black and white. But like sometimes we need to be able to go, no, this is what it is, regardless of whether this is good and this is bad and this is context and this is, you know, happened because of this. Sometimes we need to go, this is what happened and that's it. That's all there is to it. It doesn't matter whys and hows, and it's just, this is what it is and that's it. This is where we end it. This is where we move on. This is where we take a stand, or this is where we do something about it, or this is where we no longer accept that, even if all we do is choose to peacefully move away. Whatever you decide here, it doesn't matter really how you act, other than the fact that you make that decision. It's like finding that clarity within yourself, and you may have to try to find some sort of solid ground where you can, because it seems like a rocky time, a rocky path, or like a rough part of life. So when you get moments of upheaval that leave you with like time to ponder things, because it doesn't seem like you have time to just take, if you have time to take it so that you can try to work this out. There's like a level of clarity you need here. Like you need to sit and think about these things and like process them and work out what it is about the situation that is okay and isn't okay. What was it that you accept and that you do not accept? What is it that like you'll not let continue? And it doesn't matter about any of the rest of the context. Am I okay with this? No. Okay, that's all we need to know. You're not okay with that. Let's move on. Let's move away from whatever that situation is, or that person, or that thing. We're not accepting it in our lives anymore, and this is where we're going. So not only do you, you know, move away from it, and you know what your boundaries are better than you did before, you're clearer than what you were before, you're calmer, you're more grounded. You're probably still like a bit worried, probably still a bit like looking over your shoulder or thinking back about the past or something like that, or maybe you still look back to like the group of people in which it came from, or the situation, whatever the scenario was that arose, that did rise up. You'll probably still look back and think about it, and you'll probably still at times get angry or frustrated or annoyed or whatever it is, or like have that sense of it being unjust and unfair. But this is what you can do. And then maybe this is where you have to go back to that remembering to just like roll with the punches. And sometimes I don't know, I just get the feeling that because life is not so straightforward and calm for you at the moment, this is why you need to roll with the punches, because you don't have a choice. Now take this only if it resonates, right? And take it with context. And at the end of the day, you don't let a person on the internet tell you what to do and how to handle your life, especially when they don't actually know your like individual situation, right? So you need to use, like, you need to be responsible for your discernment, and you need to like make your own decisions. I feel like there's something here that's telling you to make your own decisions, and I think what Spirit's trying to say in, I don't know, like maybe a more fair way is that sometimes we just don't have the capacity to keep fighting, or to, you know, like hold so much like emotion in ourselves. Sometimes the best thing to do is to let it go, or is to just move forward, or move with, like, you know, whatever's happening at the time, and just get on with it. And then it'll end up almost being like a distant memory, and, you know, maybe the memory will come with us for a while, for a long time. Maybe we'll think back to it pretty frequently, but we'll know. Whereas if we stay in the energy that we're in at the moment, being sort of, I get like a sense of like, yes, no, not sure, this, that, here, there, there's no like real decisiveness or clarity around it, and that's what you need to do. And until you do that, you can't move on. So part of that is accepting where we are. And I think that's sort of that thing of, you know, they, in the book reading about the Murdoch, it says how they like attach to fur or something like that. You might not have wanted to be carried to the places that you're going, but you're going anyway. And if you can accept where you're going, or where you've already been taken, it'll be easier for you to move forward with like the next step. I think that's what they're trying to say, and I'm trying to, like, I'm just delivering it how it's coming through, and I don't want it to come off too brutal. Sometimes the messages can come through like that, right? So I feel like this whole reading has that tone of like, thanks, Spirit. I'll take that on board, and I'll catch you later in another reading. If you've made it with me, if you've made it through this far, then kudos to you. Okay, so moving on. I feel like once you're able to have made those decisions and moved on, and you make a really strong, solid foundation for yourself in life, you've got good boundaries, you understand things, you actually develop really good discernment, but you've also, to a degree, learned how to just roll with the ebbs and flow of life and everything, and it actually ends up being like a really fulfilling experience for you. For some of you, I feel like this is part of the pathway to meeting your person. For some of you, it may be like a deepening to a relationship that you have, or yeah, I don't know, right? Because so the Four of Wands is what's apparently under, like, you know, it's the underlining energy of this whole reading, or overarching, however you want to say it. And it's basically like the theme of like union, marriage, coming together, reunion, celebration. For me, I feel like this is about partnership of some kind. It doesn't matter what kind, just partnership. So maybe you had to learn some hard lessons. Maybe you got really defensive about it, a little bit paranoid, a little bit distrustful. Maybe you were angry. Maybe you had to fight for yourself for things that you shouldn't have had to fight for. It will be put in positions you shouldn't have been put in, but you get really wise from it. And I think just the fact that you know that you can handle these situations in itself is actually really fulfilling for you, and it's really like empowering, self-empowering. It's helpful with your self-esteem, it's helpful with your confidence. You understand that you can handle a thing or two in life, and you understand what you have to bring to the table, and that in itself gives you a lot to be proud of and to be confident in, and help you move on with life in a really meaningful way, knowing what it is that you truly prioritize in life and what means the most to you. And I think that is what matters. Yeah. It's like a wish fulfillment coming in, right? So yeah, for some of you it is like a person, or like that development in a relationship, something like that. Okay, so we're going to move on to take some more cards. So to take this. It's like it didn't want to go away. It's like it was the one that was meant to come out, and that's, yeah, okay. Maybe that in itself has something to do with what you experience. So this card is honoring your energy. I'm just going to take one more. Oh, we've still got two. Okay, that's all right. We'll just take it. So we've got teaching. So this is definitely like a time for you of like learning or teaching or experiencing. Maybe you end up teaching each other. Maybe it's just what this whole situation has taught you, right? And new beginnings. Yeah, that's wonderful. So new beginnings, honoring your energy. So for some of you, what this honoring your energy card's going to talk about is just the pure fact that honoring everything that you've been through, recognizing it, giving yourself credit for the things that you've endured and how you've handled them and how you've come out on top, and like the person that you are and were, and how you developed and who you've become afterwards, and just like all the things. Like, you need to stop and take 5 and give yourself credit for what you've experienced and how you've handled it, and knowing that it's okay to be in any one of these stages, because I feel like for different people in this group, some of you will still be in this Page of Swords, some of you will still like actually already be at this 9 of Wands, some of you are still being carried on the bird between places, and that you don't know where you're going, you don't want to be there, and you're being forced. They just want you to honor wherever you're at. They want you to don't feel like you have to explain yourself to people. Don't talk down to yourself like negatively in any way. Be compassionate and kind to yourself. Give yourself time to take a breath, time to find quiet, time to go, yep, this is shit, yep, I've got to do it, and I've got no choice, and this is where we're at, and we're just going to do it, and tomorrow's going to be a better day. And if tomorrow's not going to be a better day, maybe in 2 months' time it'll be a better day, but you'll get there. I feel like you're really strong, you're really flexible, you're really capable, you've got good vitality, whether you feel like it or not. Even if it's not vitality, it's like the hope for the new beginning should outweigh where you're at. But I understand that when we're in that thick, like, you're in the moment, you're in the thick of it all, it's like you don't always get that levity, right? So know that that new beginning is coming for you. Know that the hope will come back. Know that you will get through it. You're strong enough, you're smart enough, like, you're capable, and that there are good things coming at the end of it. The sun will come out again. The birds, the bees, the butterflies, like the flowers, like all of it. I think you're a lot stronger than you realize, or than you give yourself credit for. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we want like one more card again. Oh, here we go. Okay. So we're taking a timing card. Spirit's not always great with time, and of course there's like a lot of different people in this group, so the timing may not resonate for everybody, but it says fall. So I guess depending where you are in the world, if you're in the southern hemisphere, fall's not going to be until like, was it April-ish or something? Was it December, maybe no, March, not April, I'm not sure. I feel like I should know this. Yeah, March for the southern side, but for the northern hemisphere, without getting too stuck on that, I feel like that's what you guys are just about to enter into, so that makes heaps of sense. So sometime over the fall. So I mean, like, a season is a 3-month period, so any time within like this next season, yeah. And if it's not the next season, it'll be when the next fall rolls around. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, no, that's everything for the cards. One thing that we haven't talked about yet is actually frankincense. Frankincense can be purifying can be really helpful to open the like third eye and crown chakra. Yeah, I guess cleansing is the same as can be similar to, or the effect of purifying. I don't know a lot of other, what else frankincense is actually used for. So for some of you, you may want to look into it. I do know frankincense like can be protective as well, but I feel like that won't be a general statement. I feel like that would be person dependent or person specific, whether you find that as something that's helpful for you in a protective way or not. I would be careful if you're working with it with like the third eye and the crown chakra, because it can really open things up to where it can be hard to be or stay grounded. So I would only use it with great respect. Yeah, okay. Is there anything else? No. Okay. So that feels like everything that we actually have for tonight's mystery message. I hope that this ended up being helpful in the end there, because I did feel like for a while it was almost just being a bit formidable, but we got there, and I feel like it had a meaningful message to know that there is like new beginnings and hope coming, and making sure you're taking care of yourself and honoring the things that you've had to experience to get to where you are. So good luck to you all with where you're at in the season, and I'm definitely hoping things ease up for you. And yeah, okay. Well, group 2, that's everything I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading or got something out of it, and I'll see you all in another one. Okay, welcome group 3 to tonight's reading. If you chose the primrose and the peppermint essential oils, and this will be your mystery message for tonight's reading. I'm hoping everybody's doing well at the moment. Loving how Spirit has chosen, you know, botany type cards with the plants as we're coming into spring in the southern hemisphere. Just as we're coming into this time, I'll read from the book on primrose, but I mean, like, some of you could be in some sort of partnership or relationship, or have like a romantic interest where I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 groups here. I don't know if someone's like trying to divide or come at your partnership, or like tear it down or attack it, or have a go at you or your partner, or both of you, or excuse me, I'm just like having a hard time talking without being croaky, and I wonder if this is like a situation that could maybe be hard for you to talk about, or something like that. Maybe you guys, well, like, maybe you're really happy in a relationship, and then maybe someone comes in with like a shocking truth, like, and all of a sudden flipped everything on its head. But it's weird, because I feel like whoever's coming in comes in with the intention to destroy it, and that they actually, I feel like when they win, they're happy about it. So it's wild, because I feel like when they come in, they come in with like a vengeance, like they're angry, and then they're really happy, like they're almost smirking when it's over, when it separates, when their plan worked. So I actually wonder for some of you if this is like an ex-partner, this is a person that's been rejected. For some of you, you could just be like maybe a Gemini or in a Gemini energy or something, but you're actually single, like maybe you're not in a relationship, and maybe it's like an ex-partner or something coming at you or for you or something like that. But I'll read from the book on the Primrose card and see what we get come through. Actually, I should mention before we get into it that Peppermint can be really good for grounding. Yeah. And if you've got a lot of chaos happening, it may be hard to stay in the present moment. So I do feel like taking some quiet time to like go sit by a fire or enjoy nature would be really lovely. What do we want? Gone too far. Okay. Okay, so Primrose, so love, creativity, and rebirth. Because they are so small and beautiful and are among the first flowers to appear after winter, primroses have always been associated with romantic love and new beginnings. Drawing this card may indicate that a new love is entering your life and that a fresh wave of tenderness will appear in an existing partnership. Our relationships, like our dreams, have seasons, and however long you have been together, it is still possible for a new cycle to begin. Alternatively, the card may be indicating not the dawn of romantic love, but the rising of creativity within you. The primrose is the flower of the bard, and each of us has a bard within us who longs to sing the song of their soul and tell the story of their heart. Out of the cauldron of Ceridwen came 3 drops, and the changes wrought in, I don't know how to pronounce it, like, forgive me, I'm just going to spell it, it's G-W-I-O-N, like, I want to say Gwyn bark, were profound and many. A third possibility is that rather than love or creativity, this card is pointing to a birthing of wisdom. I'm going to read the reversed meaning here for it, just because of some of the chaotic energy, and see what we get. It says, the search for romantic love can easily turn into a trap that ensnares you in a world of illusion. Hollywood tries to ensure that none of us feels fulfilled unless we are in the throes of a passionate love affair and yet experience. And now studies of brain chemistry tell us that the initial stages of love give way either to disillusion and separation, or a less intense form of affection, care, and companionship that can lead to a faithful and long-lasting relationship. If you have chosen this card reversed, you may need to objectively assess whether you have fallen prey to the illusory aspect of romantic love. To what degree is your quest in life to find completion through another human being or through yourself? Okay. So, I guess that could be the other side of it, is that maybe some of you are in the relationship going through some tough spots, and maybe you do come out on top feeling like you've conquered another round. For some of you, I'm not sure. I feel like that book did a pretty good job at summing it up. But don't you love how the primrose topic was more or less regarding like love or romantic situations? Could be the creativity as well. And I mean, like, yeah, I'm not sure. For some of you, it could be like a creative endeavor with a like business partner or something like that. But I still feel like it might be someone else trying to tear it down for whatever reason. Maybe jealousy or competition. I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, so it just seems like it's a gamble. Like spirit's changing. Like, I don't know if you're changing or spirit's changing, like the direction that you're heading in. and that there'll be something else that you'll learn here. I don't know if you're going through a period of study or higher learning. No, it's not higher learning. It's like a beginning learning. But if it's not actually study itself, it could just be like the learning through a situation. I feel like for this particular group it is, unless of course we're talking in reference to the potential that it is in regards to like a business partnership, then you may have some sort of learning involved. And it seems to be like there's two groups. So it's like in business, maybe other people are like trying to compete and you end up coming out on top, and it was a bit of a gamble, but you like learnt from it, or you took the time to prepare for it, and you got a new beginning. Even if you didn't come out with as much as what you thought you would, you actually got a lot smarter for it, and it improves the longevity of your idea or project to the point where you'll actually endure a lot more in the future because of it, and end up having a lot more like knowledge around the situation at hand. But back to the romantic or love type scenario. So for some of you, it's just like a gamble whether you stay in a relationship, or maybe it was just like spirit reorienting your life, the direction it was heading in. For some of you, what you experienced was enough for you to make that decision for yourself, and you weren't unaware of like the chances of you know, the outcome of the choices that you make. I feel like, yeah, some of you choose to move away, some of you choose to stick it out. It's all different scenarios here. Or yeah, business or relationship, but I feel like the business thing will be a small percent of you. It's mostly the relationship thing. Okay, anyway, so basically we like move on, we learn from our situation, and there's a new beginning. I feel like for most of you this is probably a breakup, or separation, or maybe if it's not a breakup, maybe it is just like that cycle of going through tumultuous or like rocky or hard spots in the relationship, and going through the notions of those experiences of like fighting and combative energy, and maybe sometimes feeling defeated, sometimes feeling like you've had a win, and taking it, maybe, I don't know, trying to take the relationship in a new direction, or feeling like the orientation of it's going somewhere that you're not quite sure where, but you choose to go along for it, and you're learning from it, and you're trying to apply what you learn as well, which is probably the most important thing, and it leads you both to a new beginning, or yourself, whatever that looks like, whatever your scenario is. There's definitely like a deep insight, maybe even a feeling of like having an epiphany, a new level of experience, a knowledge or a wisdom that you didn't before. And it actually, if it's not a case of you're staying in and just going through the notions of like the normal things that will evolution, like healthy evolution that will occur in a relationship that gives you longevity, and it actually helps you sort of band together and look after each other. It's kind of like, if it's the loss of a relationship, it just means that you end up finding, I don't know, it's like finding solace in your situation, that maybe you don't even need a partner. And some of you will find partners again that like are the people that you can stand the test of time with. So yeah, I feel like that's ultimately what this is. It's finding the people that you can stand the test of time with, no matter what. Like, I'm not telling you to stay with people that don't treat you right, okay? I just want to make that abundantly clear. You have responsibility for your own discernment and the choices that you make. So I do feel like you will have more clarity of the situation as time moves on, and as you move out of and away from the situation, or something like that. But I want you to know that when you're looking back at the past, for whatever reason, or when it just comes up for the sake of being human, because sometimes that happens, to not really dwell or think too much on the darker times or the things that you couldn't understand or seem confusing. part of our nature is that we will want to do that and work out what happened and where things went wrong, or how we got to the place that we did, whatever our scenario is. And sometimes it can be really helpful for us, and sometimes it can just sort of lead us down a spiral, and going down a spiral of like worrying or living in fear is not helpful for anyone. So unless it's helpful or you're processing, it may be best to just lay it down if you can, or try to like move forward. Yeah, it's more about moving forward, I think. Okay, is there anything else we have? No. I do feel like for this group, so not only was the essential oil was peppermint, which is grounding, we also have at the bottom of the deck the Eight of Swords card here, and I feel like you're taking off the blindfold and you're free of those old restrictions that once had you tied up. That scenario will be different for everyone that's come through in this reading. I feel like there's a lot of different scenarios that have come through here. So, you know, for some of you it may be conditioning, for some of you it may have been fear, all sorts of different things. But whatever that was, it's like you're finding freedom. Yeah. Okay, cool. I do want to also mention just a couple things here. First thing is seashell may be good for some of you, whether it's like grounding or protective. And then another thing, yeah, I feel like you need protective. Like this is just a hand's a hand with the evil eye on it. This was actually a keychain, but I think it's because some of you may be copying some sort of like evil eye energy or something from an ex, or I don't know, whatever the scenario was. I feel like there's someone that's still unhappy on the outside and you need to protect yourself from it. So if you have evil eye, hands a hand, jewelry or adornments, maybe now is a good time to use them. For some of you, you may want to just see if you can find something cheap on eBay or Amazon or whatever it is that you use. That would be helpful, because we did also sort of get that mention of something else being protective as well. I think some of you group 2 might be helpful for. If you already felt drawn to it, maybe go back and check out group 2. If you didn't, don't stress about it, or just move on. But let's see if there's anything else here. No. Okay, that's everything that I have for you tonight for group 3. I hope that you got something out of this, or that it was helpful in some way, and or insightful at least. And we'll see you all in another reading. Thanks.